What's up, everybody? This is HBT with my man Christopher Burton.
People's Podcast. What's going on, y'all?
And we're going to talk about, what's missing, the missing element in wrestling today. And we're going to talk about missed opportunities. And this missing element in wrestling today, Chris, in my opinion, is major, bro. It's major. So, Chris, what I'm talking about basically, man, is I want to ask you, where's that imposing figure in wrestling?
The only imposing figure is Roman Reigns. I mean, he's the biggest name in wrestling right now, man. I mean, I hate to say it, man, but he is.
Yes, he is. And my whole thing is, I'm going all the way back to the days when I used to watch wrestling. When I was watching wrestling, all the way back to the 70s and 80s when you was watching wrestling. And we're talking about imposing figures. And when I'm talking about imposing figures, I'm talking about that. We talking about that figure that stands out. The people that, just like he just said, Roman Reigns. And I'm talking about, you had monsters back in the day, pretty much. And I'm talking about monsters that could actually wrestle. That was really good. We don't have that today. And without it in wrestling, man, it hurts the business, and it's something that's majorly needed in the business, and we don't have it today. I mean, of course, we got Roman Reigns, we got some other big figures. You got, as far as you want to go in AEW, you have your Wardlow, but like I say, Wardlow is not a great wrestler. I mean, he's okay, and I mean. But
he brings it out when he needs to.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't do it all the time because, in his mind, and a lot of wrestlers' mind today, save you good stuff when you need to bring it out.
Right. So
it ain't. I mean, wrestling has gotten to the point where they don't want to give you everything at once, man. They be like, okay, we got WrestleMania. Okay, WrestleMania 2 nights. Okay, I'll do this moveset on this night. All right, with some awesome stuff in here that you ain't never seen all year long. I'll pull that out the hat. Night 2, I'm gonna pull this out the hat. Where back in the day, they used to do it every night.
Oh yeah,
But see, that's the thing now too, man. You do that every day now, it ain't gonna have no meaning to it no more.
Well, that's true, man. But
it ain't gonna have no meaning,
man. That's just the way they don't rolled everything out to where things, it's not having a meaning. So they still have to everything that you're doing. If you decide to do if you decide to run your business that way, you have to be able to roll into that. I mean, all throughout history, whatever it's been, in business, if that's the way you want to run something, you have to be able to roll into the new style of to be able to keep your fans, to keep fans' interest, man. You're gonna have to be able to hang with what's going on today. And we don't like I said, we don't have that imposing figure in wrestling. And now you have the small man. You don't have a lot of big men, but you do have big men, but they're really not pushing them. You have Lance Archer, you have Wardlow, you have Braun Strowman, which they tried to push. You have that big old Omos guy over there in WWE. They tried to push him. But the whole thing about it is, we don't have, like I say, we don't have the opposing figure like a Blackjack Mulligan, Andre the Giant. We don't have a who else?
King Kong Bundy,
John Studd. These guys was good wrestlers. They was good.
Ernie Ladd and all that.
Yeah, we don't have that. So and then you want to go with the smaller guy, and they was a mid-sized guy. They wasn't small. Your Ric Flairs, Harley Race, Jack Briscoe, Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, people like that, Nick Botwinkle, Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne was a small guy, basically. But man, these guys was incredible wrestlers. And then you could go to some of the modern day guys like Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. They was incredible wrestlers. So that's what I'm trying to say. That imposing figure, where's that in wrestling outside of Roman Reigns? And let's see, who else?
And I only say Roman Reigns because he is his name, man.
Yeah,
his name, his lineage, and the machine that he has behind him to push him to who he is. That's why I say Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
because unless you really a wrestling fan, if I say Wardlow, you're gonna be like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna be like, who?
Exactly.
Is he some kind of actor that's on Lord of the Rings or something, or Harry Potter or something? You ain't gonna know. But as soon as I say Roman Reigns, you be like, okay, I heard of that guy. I know he WWE and stuff and all that. It's like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
Yeah,
you may not be wrestling fans, but as soon as you say their names, you're gonna know something about them.
Right. And let's look at some of the other people that's imposing figures that I could say can be an imposing figure over in WWE right now. Okay, you got Roman Reigns. You have an imposing figure in Bobby Lashley, but they're not really pushing him like that. They was pushing him before.
Yeah,
they was pushing him before. Let's see who else. Who else that we have over there that you can say that's an imposing figure, man? I mean, you Drew McIntyre, but he's not really being. They've tried to push him,
Gunther.
Gunther. Walter. When he was Walter, now if they kept him as Walter, more people know him as Walter, especially worldwide.
Yeah.
So he has he's an imposing figure. He's one of these people that stands out in the crowd. Let's see, what is that other guy's name, man? What is his name? Let's see. Dang, Becky Lynch's husband.
Seth
Rollins. I mean, Seth Rollins is an imposing figure. If they continue to keep the focus on him and push him out there right, he can be an imposing figure because he has, he's talented and he has he has stage presence. He has a way to, attract people to him. Yeah. So you actually need that. I mean, you need people like him. You need people and if you want to go AEW, let's go to their route. Somebody like MJF, he's an imposing figure because of the way he comes across. Presents himself on the microphone and everything like that. So I mean, he has great stage presence and he knows how to engage the fans.
Yeah.
So he will know how to engage people from every walk of life. So he is an imposing figure, but how can they make him come across as that? Because they push the heck out of Jon Moxley.
Oh yeah.
But he just no matter how much money they and or whatever they try to put behind him, he's really not that imposing figure. He's not that person that's really gonna come across to everybody like, hey man, he's a giant in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, even in Chris Jericho, man, everybody knows who Chris Jericho is, but
right.
He's lost some of that luster.
Exactly.
Obviously, he's older and might have lost a step or two, but he still can perform, still can get it done.
Right.
But he's not what he used to be.
Right.
Well, heck, nobody is once you get older. But it's just okay, Sting.
Yeah.
Sting.
Yes.
Sting. He's an opposing figure, but he ain't what he used to be.
No, he's not. And plus,
but his name still carries weight.
Yes.
But far as he's somebody that I must see, not so much anymore.
No, no. And plus, like I say, he doesn't wrestle every week.
No.
And I mean, people know that. And he's just not. He's not one of these young guys. He's not out there, driving up promos. He's not flying out through the ceiling anymore. To try to draw that fan.
Yeah.
So, he's not one of these people that's gonna draw people. He is a draw. Yeah. But it's not going to be thousands of people come out there to see him wrestle.
It's going to be people who already know who he is, what he was, and what he's done.
Exactly.
This newer generation, they're going to be like, okay, let's Google this guy. I've heard of my uncle and my dad and talk of and my cousins and nephews. But let me see who this guy is, what he was.
Yes.
They're going to be more in tune with the MJFs, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omegas, those guys.
Yes.
They're gonna be more in tune with those guys. Somebody, the Sammy Guevara's, those guys. But yeah, you really just don't have that. Like I said, somebody come out, you be like, you're in awe of. You don't have that no more, man.
Exactly.
Because wrestling is really just, like I said, man, just gone a whole different direction. Like you said, the age of the big guy is over.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got some big guys, but the true age of the big guys back in the 80s and the 70s, that's
true. That's true.
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels said it best in his book. Those guys are dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, we look at. Okay, we can look at some. Let's look at the women that's in wrestling. Some of them, when it boils down to it, are imposing figures. You know, when it boils down to it, we have some women that's on imposing figures. But the thing about wrestling, the thing about any sport, and you know, they're talking about a lot of the women, you know, the women basketball, women soccer, that they're trying to get as much money as the men. They want to be paid on par with men.
Yeah.
But you know, women don't come out and support these sports. Look, you know, they just don't.
Yeah.
Now they'll go out and they'll be at NBA games, there'll be NFL games, they'll be at you know, they go out and watch men's soccer, but they don't support women's sports like they do men's sport. So, I mean, you have somebody like Charlotte Flair. She's an imposing figure.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, she's an imposing figure.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Cargill, imposing.
Yeah, very,
you know, Brett, what is her name? Britt Baker.
Britt Baker, yep.
She's kind of imposing too. So you got women that are imposing in wrestling, but if we don't,
they're outshadowed.
Yeah, they are. They overshadow. So
outshadowed. I don't want to say overshadowed.
Yeah, well, true. I agree with Chris there. But man, yeah, to tell you the truth, you really have these women that pretty much are, when you put them out there, the presentation of them could be bigger. Seem like they're bigger than a lot of the guys, but you know, you lose audience share, and I mean the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
A lot of times they come on and they do their promos on TV or when they wrestling. You know, the ratings go down, and I mean you can see that if you do the ratings breakdown.
It's almost like it used to be back in the 70s and 80s.
Yes,
when you only had maybe like 1 or 2 women matches on the card, 2 at the max,
right?
But you know, that was basically almost back in those days. That was intermission.
Yeah. People,
I hate to say it.
Yeah, and midget wrestling, come on, people will turn around there and go get some popcorn or something like that.
And that's what they used to do with the women. That's what they did to women. You know,
and it seems like they're doing that now.
Okay, women wrestling. Okay, hey, you want something to drink, man?
You
want something to eat? I'll go get that real quick.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I mean, they out there doing their best for what they're doing. You know, but now it's going, like I said, it's going back to where it's not like the WWE had the women's revolution where they were pushing the women and you know, women main event Raw and SmackDown, this, that, and the other and stuff. But now it's going back to that day of where, okay, women were just a attraction, not a true draw.
Right.
You know, so
all right, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about missed opportunities, man. So you know, as far as, you know, there's been some missed opportunities, man, since we've been doing this thing. Let's talk. We already talked a little bit about Bobby Lashley, but Bobby Lashley, man, you know, he was on a dominant run. I mean, and I'm talking about this right here. I'm talking about missed opportunities since me and Chris been doing a straight up wrestling show.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's been 16 months now. And Bobby Lashley, man, when he had his WWE title run, you know, they failed to capitalize on the dominant run that Lashley had as champ. It's, in my opinion, Chris, and plus Charlotte Flair, you know, the same as Lashley. She was on a dominant run, man. And I think they failed to capitalize on that. And that's something I think that is as dominant as they were. I think that's something that could have, you know, propelled the WWE over into fans that's not watching it wrestling today, especially with Bobby Lashley, his run.
I mean, you know, because I will have to say it like this, man. I hate to say it. During Bobby Lashley's run is when all that nonsense, Vince McMahon nonsense, started to brew.
A lot of it
started brewing.
Yes.
It wasn't at the surface yet, but it was bubbling. It was bubbling.
No doubt.
And then when it, you know, got to where it is, you know, that was basically the main focus.
Yes.
And by then they were like, okay, Bobby, just do your thing, whatever. We really need to focus on this.
Exactly.
That was an unfortunate timing and situation.
That's true. Yeah.
And Bobby had no control over that. It just, unfortunately, that was the timing of the situation.
Yes.
Now, if, let's say, that never happened and Vince just decided, okay, I'm going to just step down and quietly fade into the dark.
Yeah.
And the new regime came in, it might have been a different situation.
That's true. That's true.
But because of the timing and the issues backstage, it affected him. And so they were just like, you know, kind of torn between, we got to keep our show going, but we got to try to keep this under control, which,
exactly. All right, guys, we're going to get back to this, but we got to head out. But for HBT, my man Christopher Burton,
People's Podcaster,
We are out of here. We'll see you guys. Peace.
Part 2.